We bought a 34-year-old boat that had run aground and sustained some damage. We thought we could repair this boat really quick in the hopes to get it in the water and be able to use it during the summer. Things didn't go to plan and things went on a bit longer than we thought it was going to be, but finally got everything on this boat back together and we got it in the water. But that's when the problem struck. So we are up early for sea trial number 5. After working very late into the night, we're up early again, and I just hope this time we've smashed it. So let's see how the next half an hour goes.
Fucking arsehole. Fucking arsehole. Right, it's plan being other tanks coming out today. We're going to take it out. We're going to feed it a bit so we can get out the water.
What we've just done is closed off the bad fuel tank, so both engines now are running on the port fuel tank, and boat work isn't going to plan, so I thought I'd go fishing. Rich, do you want a mackerel for your tea?
That's a start of that. Back.
Look up fishing.
There you go. Do you want your tea? let's keep this. Let's put this one back. Go on, mate. You can live another day. Oh, I should have kept him for bait. And because I went for something else. Just while we're here.
Catch him again.
I've got mackerel slime.
Have you finished your fishing yet or what? Oh, I got another one.
He's a little baby one. Stop wiggling. Alright, mate, just calm down. Oh, just alright. Whoa! Fucking hell, alright, calm down. Okay, he's going back.
So we've still got fuel tank issues. We know it's the fuel tank because there's a bypass valve on the top of the tanks that you can take off either tank. So we had an issue earlier. It's going to be a really big chunk of something in the tank. So that's basically blocking up the fuel delivery tube. So when we open the valve, then we can take off the other tank, run sweet. Problem we've got though is that the engines take on so much fuel. They don't use all the fuel, they dump it back in the tank. So we're now draining the starboard tank and pumping it now into the port tank. We cannot leave like that. So we've got to go back into port, and these tanks have got to come out basically. We thought we got it all. You never get it all until you get right in the tank. So that's where we're at the moment.
Whoa!
What?
I've caught a squid!
You've got a squid.
I've never caught a squid before! feel like my phone's hitting.
He's
Woo!
having a piss.
He's having a wee! I never caught a squid before. There we go.
Yeah,
I'll just shake him off.
nice one, Jim.
Oh, quick, get his uncle off. He's just squidded on me.
I don't know where the blue roll went. Can you give us an update?
It's not good. We are coming back out of the water. Right, so after our initial launch and 5 sea trials, the boat still isn't right. So what we're going to do now is get lifted back out the water.
Right, so we're back on the hard. So we need to get the fuel tanks out, and they are basically situated underneath this area of the sole. So let's have a look at them, and we need to be able to get the fuel out, and I bought loads of barrels to put the fuel in. Right, so we need to connect that pipe now somehow to here, and then we're hopefully going to suck the fuel from the supply tubes. And then we'll put this in our tanks. Sorry, I've got no shirts on because it's absolutely roasting. Right, so I've got my little pipe now going all the way down, so it's long enough to hit the floor, but I'm going to put it onto this for now, which is my little pump. So hopefully I'm going to generate a suction on this line, and then we can then siphon them out, siphon the fuel tanks out into all these barrels. Right, so it's starting to come. There you go, the pump now, change notes. I don't think it's going to get the air out of it though, is it? Right, so we've now made a siphon. You see all the crap coming down the pipe? There we go, we've got a nice good flow there now. Let's get rid of this welding drum. So now siphoning at quite a hell of a rate. I keep seeing like chunks of crap coming down the pipe, so we're actually getting some of it out as we speak. So there we go, got all those barrels out of the starboard side. It was about 140 litres, these ones were only 20 litres. So now I've had to resort to a big barrel now. That was all the barrel capacity I had at the workshop, so obviously I want to take this home and we can give it a good polish then as well. It takes quite a long time to siphon out, even though there's quite a lot of flow out this big pipe. Right, so I've got one of these really strange problems. I almost ran out of capacity to keep the diesel in. So this one is half full, and everything else is brimmed. I was lucky that I had enough barrels. Anyway, so next big problem is, because this is full, I need to get it in the barrel. I need to get it in the van. So let's try and get that in the van. She's in. Result. Right, so we had to remove all these boxes and getting this up right here to get to the bolts down there. But turns out these tanks have actually been out before, or at least one of them anyway, known. And we cut the deck, so you can see the cut line there, and the other go with fiberglass in it around there. So at least we know where to cut, don't we? We can just cut it back off there. See the back there? So then hopefully we can slide the tank out and lift it up. I think, get all this wood out first, get out of the way. Magnetic screws, eh? Right, so everything's off now down this end. What's next to come off now is this piece. So it wasn't held on with much apart from this little alley plate which was riveted. It's not ideal. So this here is a track, it's a drain. So it drains into here, so it's a big, and then obviously this element here drains into here, then it's like a sump and it comes down here. You can fill up into this sump here, and then it goes through here, through a through hull. So I think if you get like an incoming, if you get the waves catching you up, it can't all of a sudden just fill up the deck, so it makes it a bit harder, I think. So pretty cool. Right, so now we need to get to them bolts all the way down there. Now we need to take these pipes off the filler neck and the breather, and there's a bonding and there's a fuel return. So I'm really the easiest place to work down there, and all these pipes have been on for quite a long time. So I've got the extra long extension. Right, so I think all the bolts are out, all the plumbing's off it, all the wiring's off it for the fuel tank sender. Let's try and get her out. Well, she's moving. Still feels heavy with fuel, you know. Right, so I found another barrel, opened the top, there's still loads of crud in there. So set my little pump again. Quite surprising how much fuel is still in the tank. So I've now got the tank wedged up so it all goes to this corner, and luckily there's another fuel pickup in this corner. But then I was thinking, like, we've still got 50 litres probably in the tank that we couldn't get out by siphoning it yesterday. But then I was thinking, when the boat's going along, the boat's technically pitched into it, so it was tail down, so that would have got to the pickup, wouldn't it? So it'd be interesting to see how far the pickup is from the bottom. Well, it's just waiting now, waiting for the fuel to come out. Right, so the fuel's out now, it's dry. So there's the amount of crap in there, isn't it? Right, so we've got the tank in that position, it's still quite heavy. So I've attached some ropes down there so I can pick it up from the bottom. The bottom of it's flat, so I'm going to put some carpet over the swim ladders there. And then hopefully it's going to go up and over, put it on the swim platform, and then I can hold it with this long line here, tie it up maybe, and then go off the back and then lift off the back. We've also got a camera outside over there. So hopefully catch what goes wrong and then we can learn for the other side. Right, here goes. Here goes. I think they come off the transom easier than they actually come out of the hole where they're placed. So I don't think we damaged anything then, so that's good. So I did put carpet along here and stuff like that, and obviously it's just good rub down the swim ladder, so that's good. We're not damaged any fiberglass. So right, that's the result. Right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the other one out. The second tank's halfway out, we're just dumping the fuel now. It's far too hot. Typical Brits, eh? Cleaning when it's warm. Right, so the tanks are now in the workshop after me struggling getting them off the boat. So I've got some helpers today, which is good. After me struggling to get them out of the boat, they're going to help me drill some holes. Woo!
I've not actually seen the tanks.
So big old tanks. I think we calculated we've got a fuel capacity of about 760 litres-ish. Right, so what we're going to do is cut them open and we're going to have a look inside them. I'm not sure if you guys could hear that. Didn't sound that great, did it? So, let's listen. Ready? Sounds like there's loads of spare nuts and bolts in there, doesn't it? Right, let's figure out how we can cut this open. So there's a few bits of corrosion on the bottom, which definitely need addressing.
I've just literally touched that and it's just caved in.
So
that was like 2 minutes away from like leaking fuel.
So after thinking about this, I think the tanks have had a leak at some point and somebody's put some sort of chemicals in it as like a leak stop. Is that a thing?
Like Radweld.
Like Radweld, but tank weld. Is that a thing? And I think that's what all the stuff is inside.
But we're really lucky that we took this out.
Yeah.
Because look at that. Oh.
So.
It needs more work than just the inside now, doesn't it?
But if you look to the starboard tank, this has been plated.
Plated over.
So if you remember me saying that these tanks have been out before, I think it's because of the leak.
I think only one of them's been out then.
Yeah, so they've basically taken one out, repaired this one. They've done a really good job of it.
Well, on the outside.
On the outside. What I'd prefer them to do is do them both. Because if one's going, then the other one's going to go, innit? So, right, let's all look inside this one anyway, and then we can see if the tanks are right off or not.
And we'll just say this is the port side tank, which was our good tank.
Right, so we know internally in these tanks they've got baffles in them. So the reason the tank is baffled is so when something's moving around, car, boat, whatever it is, there's no fuel slosh. So you don't want all this fuel going slosh to one side, slosh to the other side. So we want to control the fuel, so you put baffles in, stop it moving really, really fast. So I can see evidence on the top where the baffles are. So if we just draw now a rough. Okay.
So we've got 6 compartments in the tank. So that means we're going to have to cut 12 holes. Well, 5 in the other one. The other one's already got 1 inspection hatch, but this one hasn't got any.
Right, so we're going to imagine this is our deck. Our deck is around here somewhere. So we're going to leave, we've actually offset, we've actually measured out offset. So we've got to drill these with a big hole saw. The reason we've left these aft and away from the baffle is so we can actually still access these when it's in the boat for future, basically. Future Salmon and Gemma or whoever owns the boat in the future. So, right, we're going to drill these 2 first. We're going to have a look inside and then we're going to make assumptions on where we're going to put the other holes. If any, we might not need other holes because we might be able to shake it around, we can actually hear it. We're going to stick a camera in there and have a good look. Oh my God. That's minging. Holy shit.
We need someone with small hands to get in.
She won't go in there.
So, considering this is meant to be the good tank, what's the bad one going to be like?
What? Okay, so we're not that familiar with this sort of phenomenon. This is basically diesel bug insert. Yeah, I've heard of diesel bug, but it's really hard.
Diesel bug's usually slimy, but this is dried diesel bug, isn't it?
Yeah. Or, as I said earlier, maybe it has some sort of tank leak stop and it's reacted with the diesel bug, or they've let the tanks completely empty them.
Well, the boat's 34 years old and this tank has never ever been out,
No,
and there's no inspection hatch in. So this is 34 years of crulls, I think.
Yeah. And we'll do a burn test on it, see how well it burns. We might have actually accidentally created
the new fossil fuel.
The next super fuel.
So the pickup is 1 finger
from
gap
the bottom.
from the bottom.
Ah, okay. So I mean this gear here, this didn't float when we did a float test on it. So it all sits at the bottom, but imagine all of that getting right by the pickup, 1 finger's full, and the amount of fuel flow we've got. So that is basically blocking our fuel line. If this was really fine stuff, I wouldn't mind because it would go through the line and get picked up in the filter. But this is that big; it's basically blocking up pipes, isn't it? So, okay, so I'm glad we're doing this now anyway, because we're basically future-proofing the boat, aren't we? Or future-proofing the fuel system.
Ah, is that coming from our leak?
Yeah, we've got a fuel spill.
That was like, if we wouldn't have took these tanks out, I think a week later our bilges would have been full of diesel with that. That was literally just, it was only rust holding it together.
All that stuff.
Yeah.
I think it was that stuff.
Yeah. So I think we've done the right thing, definitely.
Accidentally.
Imagine if that hole would have kicked through and we would have had like 300 litres of diesel in the bilge. Got some cleaning to do, haven't we? I'm quite intrigued to see how the other tank's going to be. Well, considering that has potentially already been cleaned in the past, technically it should be cleaner. But that's the one we were having problems with, and we didn't have any problems with this one. Don't know how. But tell you what, our engines are going to run even more sweeter once these are done.
Yeah.
Right, let's get...
I think, yeah, we'll get...
Got to get in, haven't we?
We'll get that one. Yeah, you want to give this one a scrape, and I'll mark that one out and get that one drilled, and then we can get as much of the diesel out as we can. Then
Should we have a competition?
Then we can jet wash.
See which tank has the most crud.
Yeah.
So I'll use this bowl. So this is the port tank, and then we'll do a separate bucket for the starboard tank.
So while we're here, we'll remove the tank sender and all that sort of stuff, so we don't damage it. Give it a good clean as well, can't we? So this one here is the original compartment we were accessing through. Which you can probably tell why we thought it looks quite good. Very, very small fragments, not on the board filter, we'll get that. And you look in the compartments over, and it's disgusting. Look at it all on the back, oh my god. Right, let's get this scraped out and then we'll figure out how we're going to clean the rest of it out. Right, so by hand, this is the crap that we've just removed out of the... Which side tank was this?
That's the starboard.
The starboard.
Tank, which is the waste tank, which I'm actually quite surprised about.
That was the problem tank, wasn't it?
So this tank that didn't give us any problems had all of that. And the bad tank had that.
So the previous owners have obviously had issues, and they've been harvesting out of there, haven't they? And guess what? I reckon that's why they've gone, let's sell the boat. What do you think?
Yeah.
All comes out, doesn't it? Unfortunately, they sold it to some YouTubers.
Do you know, like, whenever we've ever sold anything, you just be honest, go, I've had this issue, this issue, this issue, this issue. You know, we could have set off on a 100-mile trip thinking, oh, we've got one good engine and one good fuel tank, that was working okay. And this is also the good tank that we've just found a big hole in the bottom. We could have got halfway into the ocean. Diesel spilled.
Halfway to America.
Had a big diesel spillage because we didn't know there was a hole underneath. Blocked up all the engines with all that and could have been in big trouble.
Yeah.
So we definitely made the right call by not going.
Yeah, so whenever you sell something, there's an issue, especially with boats, because it is actually a life and death situation. Isn't it, really?
Yeah.
It is like big, it could be catastrophic.
Yeah, be honest.
Things. Be honest, yeah.
Oh well, looks like we got something else to clean.
Yeah.
Right, so this is the starboard tank. So I'm going to give it a go and see what the jet wash will do.
Right, so we moved loads of crap out of this now with the jet wash in, that's loosened it all. Weirdly, it comes off dead easy with the jet wash. We found a few stubborn areas which we had to give a bit of a pick, but so I'm now going inside the tanks now with some fairy liquid and a Scotch Brite. So just scrubbing it all with that. Seems to be coming up okay. Gemma's working on the other tank now, over there. I'm gonna say you're working on the other tank. So we'll get that to the same process, then we'll go in there and scrub it. Just sort of like, obviously it's got some sharp edges on it a little bit. I should have cleaned them off first, but it's going okay. I think we're gonna have these tanks nice.
Okay, so that's both of the tanks cleaned out for now. There's no point doing an absolute pristine clean because we've got welding to do, we've got sanding to do and stuff like that, so they're going to get contaminated again. But we've got all the horrible dried buggy stuff off. So I think now that we've done that, I'd like to do a diesel bug test on the fuel that we took out. So I bought like a DIY diesel bug testing kit, and I've just read the instructions. So I've just got to submerge this in diesel. Great, okay. And then I need to incubate it for 48 hours at 30 degrees C plus. Now, I'm not a laboratory.
Does this look like a laboratory?
So the only way I'm going to be able to do that is if for the next 2 days I keep it down with bra. I don't fancy walking around the diesel test tube. I've got, okay, if we would have done it last week and it was dead hot, that is a potential, but...
So basically, we're just going to hash this test like every other person will do who buys this kit. So it's about 20 degrees at the moment, so...
8, 9, 10. Oh, I'm just going to have to walk around with it down with bra.
No chance.
Okay.
All the men will be running after you then.
Oh, the diesel. So there we go. So I've dipped it in for 10 seconds. And yeah, I'm just going to have to... So check back in 2 days to see what my results in my diesel bug is.
I'm like sick of the smell of diesel, to be honest with you. It's just like I come home covered in it. And then covered in it again when we took the tanks out. And then I've been working on someone else's boat with diesel issues.
And his clothes that he had on when he was hoovering the tanks and stuff like that.
Yeah, don't do that. Yeah.
3 times I put them through the wash and they still stunk.
Still stunk. Yeah, never mind.
Right then, so there's my test.
So is that all's over and out for now?
No, here's the results. So it's now been 2 days since we've done the diesel bug test. So let's have a look at the results. Not a mark on it. So that's great news because that means the fuel is clean and we can reuse the fuel once the fuel tanks go back into the boat. But that also goes to show that just because you've tested your fuel and it's come back clear doesn't mean there isn't an issue with your tanks. So for anyone out there who's worried that they've got diesel bug or fuel issues and you've done a test on your diesel, that doesn't automatically mean that your tanks are in really good condition, because just look how bad ours were. So thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to follow along to see how we get on to get this boat back in the water. Big shout out to Richard. Without his help and support on manoeuvring the boat around, we would have been a bit screwed. So cheers for everything that you do for us, Rich. Really, really appreciated.